going on, everybody? Welcome back to Pungo Paints. I'm Trooper 6, and we are still at it with World Eater, Slaanesh, Worshipping Guy. And we're going to be continuing with Plate Mail Metal. Now, as we know from last episode, things got kind of cut short a little bit there. And I was so in the zone of painting, I didn't even realize when it had cut. So I apologize if there's a bit of a jump here. Not too much has changed on the main model, but we're back at it. All right. Update though, I did get the interior of the Fulgrim done, more or less. But we're going to be doing the metal, so let's get in there and just get to it. Let's knock this stuff out. All right. I'm actually thinking about leaving these chaos markings white. I might do the true copper. Even though it's in contrast with the rest of them, but, you know, I figure these bolt guns were mass-produced, of course, so they just kind of look how they look. But at least in pure interest of the model, I might leave them white, just as a good contrast for it. Alright. Do some more metal. Let's get in there. Like I said, I don't like holding the model per se like this much, because things can just get real nasty and messy. You could rub off paint that you didn't want rubbed off. But that's why we got to be extra careful, right? All right. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. We're doing all right here. Still plugging away on this bad boy. Like I said, I'm hoping to make this a shorter series for you, which will result in some kind of longer episodes, but not hour-long episodes. If anybody has been painting along, splendid. Tell me what you're painting. If you're trying any new techniques that have worked out for you, by all means. If you see me doing something that you're like, you know what, if you would just do it this way, it'd be easier, by all means, let me know. Announcements again for upcoming content would be some painting challenges if anyone wants to submit their ideas. What else we got? Yeah, so the painting challenges. Painting challenges. I'm gonna brain fart. Apologies. Homebrew lore. More narratives. As soon as I can get them written up and edited and recorded, I can get those out to you. Scheduling, at least, I plan on keeping the Let's Paint series on Fridays. Plan on keeping it like that. Would like to do I know I'm having a major brain fart while I'm trying to focus here. Man. Homebrew lore and time-lapse videos. I'm thinking about doing them on Wednesdays. Narratives, I'm going to try to keep on Mondays. so that there's a nice little spread in the week, so you can expect content at least 3 days a week. That'd be nice. But as I've said before, that requires time for recording and everything. And I know consistency is key. No one likes to wait around on videos. If anyone is a fan of JonTron, you know all too well what it's like to wait on those videos. And sometimes it can get pretty annoying. You know, he he is doing what he's doing, and I'm with him right there all the way. So by all means, take your time, dude. Keep creating your content, and I'm gonna be here to watch it. I think I might leave that white. No, I'll do bronze just like I'm gonna do that one. All right. I swear. Do the teeth on this chainsword. So yeah, damn. If anyone else has any kind of suggestions for content, by all means, let me know in the comments. I'll discuss things with you. I'll consider things. Like I said, the biggest challenge is the time. I'm still painting regularly, just about every night. Sometimes, you know, burnout happens, and you gotta take a couple days to just take a break, not think about it. That, and then sometimes it's just flat out the ideas aren't there. That, or sometimes I have the ideas, but I don't have the pieces that I want to do or that I need to make the model happen. Like I've mentioned in a previous episode, when I was doing Slaanesh. My God. I can't stop messing that up. When I was doing Slaanesh, now I've just thrown all my brain thinkings out of whack due to that. The model that I want to do, I don't have the model. I will be remedying. I forgot some teeth on the back there. I will be remedying. What? I'm gonna fix it. I can't talk. Words are hard. Words are very hard right now. I was thrown off. By the hiccup that happened while I was recording. So I decided to take a lunch break. Thankfully, it hasn't made me tired. You know, sometimes when you eat a lot, all of a sudden you're just drained, and you need to take one of those Thanksgiving naps. Forgot to paint under that helmet. We're just gonna make it silver. That's fine. Anyway, getting some silver on my hand. I need to be careful. Painting the underside of the helmet doesn't always prove to be fruitful. I had a bad habit of painting the unnecessary. I think I've mentioned that before. Like when I was doing my Cataphracti Terminators for my Carcharodon's army. Yeah, I was painting things that you're not going to see. Screw it, we're not going to leave that white. We're going to paint that silver. Like the back of the helmets, and they're enclosed in the Terminator armor, and you can't see that stuff, yet I was painting it anyway. Most of the soft parts on the neck, you're not going to be able to see that. And I was painting it anyway, because why not? And while I've got this here, I'm touching all the stuff I don't need to be touching. I'm going to paint that top one silver, I swear, dude. You know, that dark iron is still semi-wet. So I'm going to fix my blotches real quick. Just because I can. Alright, I blotched another thing somewhere. I'll find it. Now I can't remember where I blotched. Oh, well, I blotched the back of his head. I don't know, we'll figure it out later. Oh, it was the chain axe, or chain sword. Get some more on there. Fill that in. Okay. So, backpack, right? Backpack. I'll jump back to the model in just a minute. Sometimes I get so focused on the main body of the model that I totally forget about the other pieces. Excuse me. So, we're going to bronze that too. All these chaos markings up here. I don't think I'm going to leave it white. Let's get all up in there. I just had a stupid ass thought, like, it would be, I think it would be kind of crushing if, like these Let's Paints, they were just like, dude, it just takes too long and ain't nobody got time for that. Just make all time-lapse videos. I would actually be a little crushed on that one. I'd be like, dude, that sucks. As I've made mention before, this is basically our painting versions of the YouTube Let's Plays. You know, you get the time-lapse videos all the time, and they do serve their purpose and everything, but I've noticed you don't exactly see too many real-time painting. That's thinning out there. Come back to that in a second. Every now and then on social media, you'll see somebody go, hey, I'm showing you how long it actually takes to do this little part. And, you know, it's enough for like a 30-second to a minute reel on there, a little video. And people are like, oh man, yeah, that things get a little convoluted when you're doing time-lapse stuff, because, you know, it's just breezing on through the model. And you don't really understand just how long some pieces really take. So, we're just trying to make sure that that you really get to see that. That, and like I've said before, I encourage people to paint along with me. You don't have to paint whatever the hell I'm painting, but by all means, just paint your stuff, dude. Damn. Blotched again. Some of the blotches can be fixed later, but God, that is so annoying. I think for the rest of it, I'm gonna come back to it after it's on the model. Shouldn't need any other silver on any of those other pieces, so let's jump to the main body here. Get those grenades and belt buckle. And eventually this thing won't be such a stark eyesore to look at. Because I know with the ring light right here, all this white is just almost blinding. It's hard to look at this model, I'd imagine. In person, it's fantastic. And I don't ever paint with stuff like this. I just let my dining and kitchen lights do all the work for me. For instance, I'll give you an example. This is usually what I do. And this doesn't even look bad. I could, you know what? I'll give you a little bit like this. And You can see what's going on. And hey, by all means, if this works out for you, if you like this better, please let me know. If you prefer the ring light or if you prefer the light that I got going on here, because that can definitely change up how I'm doing all this. I could get a different stand for my phone and be way more comfortable painting. Because by the end of this, my back and my neck are just killing me. And I think that says something coming from a metalhead who's used to headbanging his ass off when it comes to music and concerts. And I'm very tempted to share some of my ideas that I have for future projects, but I also don't. I don't know how you want to. I don't know how you want to call it or whatever, but I don't want my ideas stolen. I'm not sure what to call that. The only thing I can really think right now is just being selfish. But I guess you can take that from my writer aspect. I don't really, if people ask me about the books that I'm working on, I don't really tell people too much of the plot and the characters. I give them a brief synopsis and whatnot. And that's more than enough if people wanted to just go ahead and be like, well, I can probably write this faster than you can, so I'm going to write it first. I'm sure it could happen and whatnot, but, most of the time, right now it's due to the fact that I don't have the models to do the other projects that I have in mind. I have an orc in mind. There's a dark angel in mind. There's quite a few other things. I'm really trying to think of a way to put some of them into words without giving too much away. One is I also don't like spoilers. Oh, man. That whole thing got painted, so we'll have to go back again with the flesh tone. Break out that flesh tone again, annoyingly. But that one was kind of unavoidable. Sucks, but whatever. Like I said before many times, I don't like repainting my work. It slows things down, and it's just sloppy and unnecessary, and I don't like it. If I can get it done in one little stroke, I will. Okay. And music has changed again for us. It's now on to Perturbator. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Things get funky like that. But I've listened to that before. I believe I've mentioned it on this channel. Great stuff. I love it. But now that you can kind of see what we got going on here, it looks pretty good on camera. At least I think so. But it's getting hard for me to even see unless I have it right in front of my face. Because like I said, this is how I paint, every night. I don't have the mat out and whatnot. I just use all that stuff, and I'm sitting at my kitchen table. A lot of people have, I'll see show me what your desk setup looks like right now. No cheating. I don't have a desk. I wish I had a desk. I wish I even had like one of those wooden setups that had slots for all your paints and your paint cup and your palette and whatnot, and it has that weird green grid where you could cut. And I don't have any of that. This is what I do. This is how I use it, and in the end, it does not matter. We can just do whatever we need to do. Speaking of an idea, just got reminded to myself. I had a painting idea, and it involves Outriders. The first one that I tried failed miserably, to the point where I bagged it and put it away. There are 2 more Outriders in that pack, and I will try again one day. And I hope that everybody really likes the idea that I have going on. Yeah, I might paint the interior of this pink of his knee. Might be interesting. Anyway, let me get that flesh tone out real quick and fix that belt buckle before I totally and completely and utterly forget, because that would just annoy me later, and especially if I get all big-headed about it and I'm like, damn, dude, look at that model. That's some sexy model right there. And I totally botched it and, oops. But let's see if I can get in. Right there. And I'm not worried about the paints being wet. I know Army Painter has that speed painting line. I haven't even tried them yet, but I haven't had too much of an issue with these paints drying pretty quickly, to where I can go over it like that and repaint it. Let's see. You see those two little rivets on the belt buckle? We're going to go for it. Boop. Boop. Look at that. Not perfect, but it'll work, especially when we put the shade oil on it. Now, with shade oil, I usually very careful because of white. It's going to be challenging, I think. But anyway, that skull is staring me right in the face. And I want to bust out the bone, skeleton bone, and do that. Just give me a little bit. There we go. Only need a little. And because he's a world eater, we might just do some blood splatter. He's not a corn berserker. He's got the body of one, but he's a world eater. What do you expect? And I know I've said this little part before, but I'm going to say it again anyway, because I'm sure it'll get on some people's nerves, and I think it's funny. But screw Mark 6. I don't like Mark 6 armor. And it's mainly the beaky helmets. I don't like them. But yeah, if you like them, that's cool, and you're wrong. I just don't like that stuff. Alright, let's turn him around, make sure. Alright, there's no other bone. However, he's got some skulls on his forearms, which I could do bronze. I really could. Now I'm hesitating. You know what? I will do those bronze. I'll just leave the one on his belt as a natural. They're like, yeah, he took the head of a worthy enemy and he put it there. It was his favorite screamer. All right, saying bronze or whatever. We're going to use true copper. It's darker than the weapon's bronze. Obviously darker than the greedy gold. And I've been using it a lot. I like it very much. It works so well for a lot of different things. And I forgot to turn the light back on, but you know what? We'll just rock with it for now. Because honestly, you can really see, but I'm probably going to turn the light back on in a little bit. Because you can really see. I can't. My eyes ain't that old yet, but with how I'm looking at this model, oh, it looks so crappy. Oh, that's why. I was going to say, it looks so blotched on film, but in my hand it didn't, and now I see why. I'm going to use that to scrape it a little bit away. It's not too far away. Just a little bit. It's good enough because once I put the shade oil on, I ain't gonna see shit. Alright. That one. Get the other one, and we can do the chainsword. That wind is kicking today. Apparently we have a heat advisory today. Another blotched moment, but whatever. Alright, and I was considering these pieces earlier, and I was thinking about leaving them white. I will not. Yeah, just like the gun. I almost forgot about the gun. I will go back and do that one too. But one step at a time here. I'm already here. He's a little skull. He's a little skull. I'm gonna get that little skull. It's getting a little thin. Let's try it again. It is not looking good on that camera. But I guarantee you, in my hand it looks a little better. Ugh. Alright, I do need a little bit more paint. I didn't squeeze out enough onto the palette when I started this. And I don't even need that much that I just did, but it's hard to control that stuff sometimes. Alright. Now, I know the copper on this white is a lot harder to control because that white can really show up underneath. But if anything, it would brighten up the copper and make it look bronze. And either way, I don't really care. Because it'll look just fine, however it turns out. And sometimes with the spikes that are on this, like this one and this one right here, I usually color those bone. Like this one back here, I'm not going to bother coloring that bone. I'm just going to continue with the bronze, copper, whatever. You know what I mean. Balance my finger on my finger. Love that little trick. It's so quirky. Bah. Get a little more paint. Blech. Thank you. Spread that out. I would laugh if anybody was watching this stuff and they go, dude, I've watched you paint and I honestly don't have no idea how your models come out looking the way they do because, good Lord, you're painting. And I want to say, well, that's my little secret. I might color that bone. This little spike back here, I'm not, but yeah, I'm going to color that bone. Something's telling me to. Why not? Give us a different color. Give something cool. A little different. Yeah. Anyway, let's take another look at it back here. I'm thinking I kind of want to put that top spike as bone too. Excuse me. You know what? We will. There's a whole lot of fuckets. We're doing it live here. Can't help it sometimes when it comes to chaos. Some things just look better in flesh or bone. That's why I try to do leather straps in flesh tones. Like if they have that little, if they have like the cloth hanging in front of their crotch, I'll do that in a flesh tone. And you could even argue that I should do that with the holsters and other stuff, and I could. And I have 4 flesh tones, and I just don't feel like doing all that. I have no problem with doing the leather. Just like with some of the bolt rifles, if you've ever noticed that I do the grip. I do the grip in wood, usually. 9 times out of 10, I'm doing the grip in wood. Because I like that natural element to it. Is I kind of take it like Star Wars, that these natural elements, as much as they are, not rare, I just feel like they're not used like that. So I always like to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to leave those chaos markings as white. It just doesn't look right, especially next to a white arm. So we're going to bronze you up. I'm not worried about that little splotch. That one's okay. That symbol came out a little thin. A little more bronze. That one we had to let it pool a little bit, so I'm going to leave that to dry. And what do we got? We got the backpack. We still need to do some bronze on it. So we are going to bronze up the chaos markings. And I see a splotch that I never did fix. And my iron should be pretty dry by right now. But that's okay. Do. Okay. Ah, damn it. Doesn't look like my thumb rubbed any of it off. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. All right. I said I was gonna wait until this was on the model to do some of this stuff, but it's whatever. Sometimes I get backpacks fully painted before I even put them on there. Lately, I haven't been doing that. I've been getting like the top half done or something, or I'll get the more difficult spots painted before I put it on. Especially if, like, I think pauldrons are ever going to be an issue or something like that. It's mainly why I do pauldrons separate too. It still gets me that people will put a model completely together and then paint it that way, and I'm like, dude, you're just working with so many limitations. And I know that's, just a matter of perspective and preference and challenge. I go, well, maybe I like to challenge myself, sir. Well, good for you, because I don't. Well, I like to challenge myself in other ways. I just got an alert that my battery is getting low. So we'll fix that in a minute, but all right. That'd be nice. We can do silver on that thing. But speaking of which, so this thing still needs to dry a little bit. At least the backpack does, I mean. So what we're going to do, we're at 34 minutes, 34 and a half. Ba-da-ba-da. Give me one sec while I... All right. Let's get that charging. Okay. Backpack. Hooah. There you go. Little bit. Come on. Okie dokie. try to make sure that is pretty level, and there we go. All right. Not too bad. Not too bad. Now I can do the silver on some of those hoses and the bottom vents. Alright, 35 minutes. Da-da-da-da. Sorry, I got a little update on my phone real quick. Anyway, I am looking forward though to doing a lot of those the homebrew lore. I've said it before on this series. I'm very glad and grateful that people actually wanted to see some homebrew lore. I like to think it's pretty good. I hope you all think so too. Man, this is just... Alright. Sorry, the lack of light now is actually starting to get to me. But like I said, please leave your feedback in the comments on whether or not you want the light on. You see how the bottom of the model is? Yeah. I got some white that'll fix that. Make sure that's dry. And let me see. Yeah, there's enough white. Yeah, it was still gray there because it was sitting on the tack when I was spraying it. People have asked what kind of spray I've used. Like I had somebody on one of my on my YouTube shorts. They commented and asked, "Hey, what's the coloring that you use to get the gray for your Carcharodons?" And it's just good old Rust-Oleum flat gray. That's it. Nothing special. Gets the job done. Makes it look good. I could technically put those arms on now. I believe he's just about ready right here. Yeah. Yeah, he's not looking too bad. All right. That dark iron. Are you still wet? There's enough there. Okay. I want to fix that blotch that's staring me in the face. Yeah. Okay. So that's probably part of the reason why my brushes are not lasting very long. Because I'm washing them so much. I don't know. I don't understand brush science sometimes. But what do you say we just go ahead and get some of these limbs attached, and we can take this model to the next step and next episode. I'll have to get some things ready before I record the next episode. Such as the transfers and whatnot. I have some transfers in mind. I have the one transfer in mind. I might try to do something. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to take a look at them and see if I can really pull that off, because if so, that would be really cool. I just might use the regular Slaanesh transfer sheet. But either way, we should be able to wrap this up because we're at the 40-minute mark. We should be able to wrap it up next episode, and we'll see how short that makes this series. Okay. So yeah, he's got a little bit of a weird kind of stance. I wasn't too thrilled about this pose. And that head will just go right over here. I'm not leaving those eyes white. But yeah, he's going to be looking out that way. Like I said, I'm not leaving those eyes white. But I also don't mind getting the model together. The eye is going to be interesting. So since it's already white, I'll show you what I'm going to use. And go figure, I don't even have it over here, but I'm going to use red eyes. And I just got these paints not long ago to try a project. But we're going to be using this. Check that out. Some Red Ecstasy by FX Flower. I don't know the whole name. I just call them FX. But yeah, this fluorescent red, and we're going to do those eyes. And you know what? Since we're only at 42 minutes, we're actually going to use this longer fine point. And we're going to get those eyes. The problem is with these longer brushes, longer brush bristles, is it gets very challenging to keep it under control. You know, I could almost use that light, but it's okay. We're challenging ourselves since we wanted to see what it looked like, and we just kind of started rolling with it. That's not bad. Let me take a look at this back here. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. It's not too bad. It's not too blotched. Whoop. See if I can bring this in better focus. It's okay. It's okay. Once that dries, you could do a little streak of white in the very tip center of those eyes and try to bring that out. But we still need to paint those pauldrons pink. And by pink, I do mean Warlock purple. I got a new set of paints sitting on the shelf, but that is going to be saved for other things. And you know what? We'll just talk about that next time. So here we go. We're going to be doing Warlock purple. We're going to be doing that on the pauldrons and on the white of the backpack. And hopefully this thing pans out, because all we got to do next is shading after that and the transfers. But until then, I guess I will see you guys on the next one. Next one, I'm just going to call it now. It's going to be the last episode, I hope. Because this should be episode 4 or whatnot, and this is kind of where I wanted to end things. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Screw it. We'll see you guys next time. All right. So, Void Father, guide these people's brushes. Send us into the next episode with a high note. And I will see you guys then. All right. Well, be safe and take it easy.